Welcome to Unleashing Your Psychic Abilities with your host, Holly Matthews. Holly will help you tap into a life-changing process that will improve the quality and happiness in your life that you may be missing. Now, here's your host, Holly Matthews.
Good morning, and welcome to our show on intuition, empath, and clairsentience. My guest host today is my colleague and friend, David Stipes. Welcome, David.
Hey, Holly. It's nice to be here. I'm looking forward to spending the time with you here today.
Wonderful. David's been a student of the Edgar Cayce readings for over 38 years, and he's perfected this intuitive life seal drawing that he does specifically for the strengthening of our understanding of why we're here, where we're going, and also our past lives. He has been awarded 2 Emmys and 2 International Monitor Awards for his visual effects and work on the Star Trek television series. He has over 3 decades of visual effects experience in feature films and television. David has an Associate of Arts and a bachelor's degree in art, and is also a published author and columnist. And we just welcome you today, David. Look forward to your information.
Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Can you tell us just a little bit about these life seal drawings?
Okay. Well, they came out of the Edgar Cayce readings. Edgar Cayce was born in, 1877, died in 1945, and he's one of the most documented psychics that's ever lived. It's a huge chronicle of information, 14,000 readings. Out of these readings, he gave about 135 readings that brought up the subject of life seals, and that is an image that a person can use to look at to remind them of their soul purpose and issues that they're working on. He also had what he called aura charts, which were images that reflected past lives. I got fascinated with this whole thing through a series of experiences and have kind of combined them together into one project or source, or what am I trying to say? One service that provides a life seal and sometimes supplemental images that deal with past lives. And it's all in one image that a person can take away and look at and use as soul inspiration for their growth.
Well, I've had one of these life seal drawings done, and it has been one of the pinnacles of my life of understanding where I am, who I am, where I came from, why I'm here, and just giving me such specific direction. So if you have any more questions about David's life seal drawings or would like to contact him about that, you can go to www.logoscenter.org, and you can get some more information there about it. Now, to talk just a little bit about what we're going to be covering today, I'd like to do a little bit of definitions as far as to the difference between intuition, intuitives, or empaths, and clairsentience. Now, intuition, I think, it's something that all of us have, we're born with, and it's more on an earthly plane. It's kind of an awareness of direction, or it can be a protection. It's just kind of that little voice inside us that tells us what we should do. And the important part of intuition, the beginning part of psychic ability, starts with just learning to listen to these subtle feelings or these emotions or these insights by just becoming more aware. Intuitives are more developed in that they're kind of just like infused with information on a little bit larger scale. Kind of liken it to prophets and seers, where the information's received in a powerful way and it should be expressed. Infusion's just simply the process of being infused. I feel like sometimes it's just like a ball of fire that hits me, and then I just kind of have to unravel the different layers like an onion. It can also be just instantaneous knowing. I find myself occasionally say, I know, like I know, like I know. And it's just these specific flashes of insight that may be kind of unexpected. They arrive out of the blue, and you just know that something's going to happen before it happens. Or you're given information that you may not be able to link a source to it. Kind of like if you feel like you need to if you're going out of town and you get a funny feeling about whether you should go or not, good idea, you should probably really explore that feeling, because that is a wonderful, intuitive bit of information for you to follow. Now, clairsentience is the ability to use all these different forms of sensing, or at least combine them in a way that gives personalized information so that we can recognize what's going on and then logically process it. It is the highest form of learning, and it's the ability to control the empathic abilities, the intuition, so that we process it in a way that is helpful to those around us and also to ourselves. Clairsentients are probably the best when it comes to not worrying about life and situations, simply because they already feel the outcome and they really just know that no matter what, everything is just going to be fine. My personal take on emotions are that they give us vital information to help us. Because even the unpleasant emotions that come into us give us this gift of realization that something in our lives or around us is not okay, and we need to address it. With the same idea, pleasant emotions just let us know that all is good and well, and this is something that we want more of. So, David.
One of the things that Herb Puryear, a minister at Logos Center, he often comments about the facts are friendly. And the emotions that we receive are for our good, for our protection. It's a natural process. I think many people are afraid of their emotions. They're afraid to feel great strength. They're afraid to feel fear. They're afraid to feel love. They're afraid to feel a lot of these things. And they're actually there for us to grow and to use them as tools of growth.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well said. I want to share a story with you, that something that happened to my son and I it was a couple of days ago. And Cody, my son, who's 14 years old, he's advancing psychically, and we were going to a store, and I noticed that my ear was just tingling. So I started rubbing my ear, and I realized after a minute that I was rubbing my ear continually, and then it dawned on me, okay, my spirit guide must have something to say to me. So I stopped for a second and listened, but my son had some music up pretty loud in the car, so I just said, okay, I'll listen in just a minute when I'm in the store, and I said, quiet. Of course, I got in the store and forgot to listen. So on the way back home again, my other ear starts just tingling, and I started rubbing it again. Oh, gosh, okay, I got two guides that want to give me a message. So I had Cody turn the radio off, relaxed a little bit, and started to listen. And the message that came across, the feeling that came across was I needed to be careful, and it was driving in the car. So I slowed down and became very intensely aware of my environment around me, and we were going through a construction area. Well, within about 15 seconds or so, and I didn't tell Cody any of this, I mentioned that, we needed to be careful, and then that was the end of that. So about 10 seconds later, I kept feeling, turn right, turn right, turn right, and it got so strong that the next right was not where I wanted to go. It had led me right into some office complex. So I said, well, no, I can't turn right here, so I promised I'd turn right at the next. So we went down a little bit more, and again, it was just turn right, turn right. So it was this feeling of knowing. It wasn't that I heard it. It just, I knew it was turn right. So we turned right. We got about, probably about 5 seconds away from that intersection. And without me expressing any of this to Cody, he turns to me and says, wow, Mom, there was something really wrong with that intersection. And then a few seconds later, he said, oh, wow, I saw a car, and it's going to crash. And then a few seconds later, he says, ouch, and he grabs his shoulder and his chest, and at the same time, I'm feeling the same thing, as just feeling this crushing on my chest, and then visually, I saw an airbag, so I knew that it had been deployed. And so Cody started explaining this. Now, even though he has an understanding of psychic ability, this was one of his first real sensations of feeling physical sensations from this experience. With both of us feeling this kind of physical intensity, our thoughts and prayers went out to those that were there at the crash site, and distance Reiki just started in my hands and turned on and went to help. And then we had a decision, because here we are feeling all this pain, wondering should we go back and help or not. In this particular instance, as I asked that question, we were specifically I just knew that wasn't the road to go. And so even though we're still feeling the physical pain, I knew that the sensate had gone in, we had processed it, and then it was important for us to release it, and needed to teach Cody to release it. So I told him, take a deep breath in and blow it all out, and do this a couple of times till he released all of the physical attributes that had gone on with that. And then we cut the energy, just kind of a wave in front of our hands. Anyway, I thought that was a really interesting story because it covered so many aspects of clairsentience and of the feeling process.
One of the things that I think is important here, when we have these experiences, we do get an opportunity. Do we actually take an action, a physical action, or do we take some other action? Many people will say, oh, well, I just prayed for him, or that's all I could do. And I would like to suggest that in many cases, the prayer work that we do for others, the sending of Reiki, whatever modality you're using, is actually a powerful and very appropriate technique. The Casey readings say that if souls could recognize the power and the impact they have in prayer, they would be in prayer all the time. So I think it's a very powerful technique, and it is not an abandonment of one's capability or anything. It's actually the appropriate response in many cases when you're getting getting images, or you're getting visions, or you're getting impressions.
I think that's beautiful. I was chronically ill quite a few years ago and ended up in bed for about 3 years. During that time, I just, the only thing I could really do is pray for people. And I was used to doing for people all the time. And then suddenly I was in bed and just couldn't do much. But the thought process finally came to me that I can pray for people. I can send them good thoughts. I can think good things for them. When I started doing this, I realized just how powerful sending good intentions and prayer is. And so I absolutely agree with you on that, David. Sometimes we do just kind of discount the real strength that happens when we do send prayer and good thoughts to someone. We'll be right back and learn just a little bit more about how to develop our psychic abilities.
Listening on a higher dimension. Seventh Wave Network.
You're listening to Unleashing Your Psychic Abilities with Holly Matthews. You can also send a question or comment to Holly after the show at azspiritualmedium@hotmail.com. That's azspiritualmedium@hotmail.com.